The news in January, a clock struck midnight for the 365th time in a year. News. The list of contestants in this year's Celebrity Big Brother was released early, with this year's lineup reading like a who's who's list of who the fuck is that? News. A panda was thrown into the world's largest recorded pile of cocaine. News. And a child went to school. News? All this and more tonight on the news. Da 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 da. The news. Now for a look at the world of sports. Our sports correspondent talks about sports while sporting. Sports! Sports?
Thank you, Dan.
Go fuck yourself. Sports.
The big news in the world of sport this month, Ben Stokes scored a historic 258 runs.
What?
In other news, football happened.
And our very own Dan Taylor was on hand to get an interview with every football manager ever. Miss Manager, you unfortunately lost today's match. Surely not the result you were hoping for.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, me and the boys, we went out there, we were gunning, you know, and we got a result. You know, they got 4 goals, we got about 2, and so it was a result, but, you know, we lost.
During the transfer window, you signed that really good player. He played good today, didn't he?
Well, you know, at the end of the day, you just got to look at him and tip your hat. You got to see he's gone out there, age 13 on his debut, you know, he's run around on a football pitch, you know, and you've got to stand up, salute him, you know, tip your hat, sit back down, put it back on, or take your hat off, put it back on again, you know. He's done absolutely amazing, you know. At the end of the day, he's gone out there, you know, and he's bonded with the crowd, the fans, they're beautiful, and you can't get what you ain't been given, and you can't give what you ain't got, you know, so it's amazing.
Despite your poor form at home over the last 5 league matches, the fans have stuck by you. Surely this is encouraging.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, you just got to say thanks, you know, you've got to give thanks, say thanks, express gratitude, you know. Obviously, looking around, you know, at the end of the day, the police, the army, they done absolutely amazing.
Mr. Manager, thank you for your time.
End of the day.
So, Dan, I have absolutely no reservations in calling this the closest title race in recent years.
No reservations at all?
No,
What, not one?
not one.
Fuck off, I don't believe you. Me. Tonight's special report, teenagers carrying around tomorrow's clothes. I reports. To find out more, I spoke to a woman. Oh, it's just a man with boobs. Linda Stop Sign, thank you for joining me today. A worrying trend amongst the youth carrying around tomorrow's clothes today. What the fuck is going on?
Well, you know, it's really important these days. The youth of today, they've really got to be on par with the rest of the world in keeping up with fashion trends. There's a really increasing pressure on the youth to be prepared. You know, you need to be tomorrow, today. The youth of today, they're under increasing pressure to be keeping up with the latest trends.
Who's setting the trends?
That's an interesting question. The trendsetters. They started off in Bulgaria, but actually, as time's gone on, you've seen more and more influences coming from, you know, Milan and Japan. So those are the ones, you know, the common ones. I mean, the English, they're very slow. They're very slow in the UK to pick up on these trends. It's a culture hierarchy.
Sounds to me like you're talking shit.
Well, the real crux of the issue here is not the shit that anyone's talking. It's about making yourself present for tomorrow, today.
Why not just dress well today?
That wouldn't make any sense. You don't want to be wearing tomorrow, today. You just want to be tomorrow, today.
What if I've just picked up my dry cleaning? Does that still count?
Yeah, I would say picking up clothes from a dry cleaner, so long as you have the full outfit, a coat.
What if I just pick up my jacket?
No, I really think that would be Imagine you're going to a black tie event. Would you ever dress in just the jacket?
Yes.
Excellent. Well, you're an idiot.
Belinda Stop Sign, thank you for joining me today. Just one final question. Do you piss herbal tea?
Sometimes.
Safe alcohol limits came under scrutiny for the first time in 20 years during the month of January. Our specialist health correspondent, Marcus Afterburner, reports. Health.
There is no such thing as a safe level of alcohol.
Yeah, more like no such thing as a dangerous one. Wait! The BBC were on hand with their own expert analysis, which opened in the form of an interview. Well, I'm not sure what he was thinking playing chat roulette in the background.
Is it okay to drink my 7 units in one go on a Saturday and rest my body for the rest of the week?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Or alternatively, you could drink 728 units and take the rest of the year off.
Binge drinking is not good for you.
It's not! Of course, you're probably confused now, aren't you? What with all this alcohol terminology? Thankfully, the BBC were there to show us what a pint looks like, and then to demonstrate that a pint can be for a man or a woman. The month of January saw junior doctors go on strike. Our very own Dan Taylor sat down with one of the lazy fuckers to see what all the fuss was about. Firstly, Dr. Pilberg, thank you for joining me. Why don't doctors already work 7 days a week?
We do. There's emergency care and elective care. Emergency care is if you have an accident, a car crash, whatever, and you come into hospital, then you will be seen by a doctor. That happens 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, anywhere in the country. Elective services are basically when you need a new knee or a new hip, or you need to see a doctor for an appointment for something, about medication, etc. Those can wait till Monday.
Why haven't junior doctors been willing to negotiate with Jeremy?
We've been more than willing to negotiate with Jeremy Hunt. But since 2014, for 2 years now, we've been trying to negotiate this contract. The government have been very hard to negotiate with, up until a point where they decided to, regardless of negotiations, they will force this contract upon us, whether we like it or not, which is when the ballot for a strike happened. So the reason doctors are striking is because we're not happy with this contract. It's not a safe contract for doctors or for patients, and it's not a fair contract for doctors or for patients, because tired doctors make mistakes. And this current contract, which he wants to force onto us, whether we like it or not, would make doctors work longer hours with less breaks.
Weren't these strikes potentially dangerous for the patients?
No, it wasn't. So we did everything we possibly could to make all the safeguards and put everything in place so that with the emergency services that were held in January on those days, well, that no patients would be harmed. This is a contract that will be in place for years and years, maybe even decades to come. And it's important, and that is where patients will be harmed in the long run for years and years.
A lot of junior doctors have cited that a 7-day NHS will lead to doctors becoming tired. Is a tired doctor really that bad a thing? I do my job tired all the time.
It is a bad thing. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it was a very unsafe service. People working for, 40 hours in a row, being very, very tired and making mistakes. And tired doctors make mistakes. Tired people make mistakes. In any job, that's a problem. But in a job with like a doctor, which is literally a situation, it's life and death, to be tired and to make a mistake could be the difference between a life and a death. Since 20 years ago, we've been having shift patterns come in, rotas come in, which means doctors work a specific amount of hours and no longer, so that they don't get tired. And the current contract that the government is trying to impose would remove those safeguards. It's not fair or safe for the patients, and it's not fair or safe on the doctors.
Dr. Daniel Bolo, thank you very much for joining me today. Final question.
Yes.
Is it true that increasing your alcohol consumption can increase your risk of cancer?
Very possibly.
Our very own Dan Taylor was on hand to get an interview with the man at the heart of the issue, Secretary Jeremy Hunt. Secretary Hunt, you've faced no small amounts of criticism regarding your proposed 7-day NHS contract, but your fellow party members have stuck by you. Surely this must be encouraging.
7-day NHS, well, obviously looking around, the party members have been absolutely amazing. They stuck with me through the highs, the lows, the eating and the mess, so.
Secretary Hunt, you gave a very good showing of yourself in the recent Commons debates. You must be very pleased.
7-day NHS. We went out there, me and the boys, we was gunning. I'm over the fucking moon.
Secretary Hunt, thank you very much for your time.
7-day NHS.
Music fans worldwide were in mourning this month following the announcement of the death of David Bowie. You and your Spiders from Mars will be missed, an icon and indeed an inspiration to generations. Dear Celebrity Big Brother. One group that weren't in mourning, however, two things. The Celebrity Big fucking Brother. Firstly, who announced the news live on their fucking show and find some real fucking celebrities in a desperate attempt to increase ratings. Secondly, go fuck yourself. Lots of love, the pretty faces. January saw the loss of a number of icons, most notably David Bowie, Alan Rickman, and at the end of the month, Terry Wogan. Our very own Dan Taylor sat down with those responsible to see just what the fuck they were playing at. Just what the fuck are you playing at, January?
Well, you know, the thing is, there's...
I'm keeping an eye on you as well, February. Get back here, February! Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you in February. Until next time, I'm Dan Taylor. Da 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 da. The news. Hey guys, thank you very much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did enjoy the show, please do remember to subscribe to our channel below. And while you're there, why not leave a comment telling us what you liked, what you didn't like. This is our first time doing anything like this, so we're very keen to know what you guys thought. If you really liked it, you can find us on other social media. We're on Facebook at The Pretty Faces Comedy, we're on Instagram at The Pretty Faces Comedy, and we're on Twitter at _Pretty Faces, because apparently The Pretty Faces Comedy is too long a Twitter. Yeah, that's the best way to keep up to date with our live shows and news about what we're up to. Once again, thank you so much for watching. A huge thank you to everyone who took part, and we'll see you in February.